Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, into the TA. Alright, guys, so I am going to say something in this video that a lot of you guys probably are not going to like, and that is that I do think we are going to be getting a bounce. I think what we just did is we set a bear trap that's going to be followed by the bull trap, and then we're going to continue lower. Now, what I'm going to point out first, before I get into anything else, is that we do have some sell-side structure over here on QQQ. That has not been the case in quite some time. You had a low, you made a high, you made a lower low. So far, we have a lower high. Now, that lower high also takes place right at our trend line that we have broken down from. All right, you did end up gapping right underneath that this morning, and you sold off from there. You can see that buyers started trying to recover that. Sellers held that trend line, and you did end up bouncing all the way down here. And this is where I, think the setup is not too bad. All right, I think they literally trapped anybody who went short on this break, and as you could see, it does look like we are going to be getting a bounce. All right, now let's just look at some tickers before we go any further. We got Amazon, we have Google, we have Microsoft, we have Meta, we have Apple, we have, well, Tesla, I'm not going to say looks good, but Tesla has a doji candlestick. You got NVIDIA with the hammer as well. You have, hang on, let's look at some chip stocks. You got Avgo sitting right here on your break and retest. Keep in mind, I have not removed this arrow right here. I do think this is a pretty sexy setup, honestly. It just really depends on the reaction off of this level so far. Not too bad. You got TSM with a big fat nasty Dragonfly Doji candlestick. Call it a hammer if you want. Dragonfly Doji. Either way, we got reversal candlesticks. Everything is bottoming tails on them, guys. Do you really think we're going to be selling off from this? I don't. All right. I'm going to be completely honest. You had one right here. Boom. You had a bottom tail. Oh, boom. Bottom tail. Oh, boom. Bottom tail. Boom. When you get these bottoming tails, you typically don't sell. I understand you had one right over here, but now we have them all right on, like, perfect supports, guys. Perfect supports. We're getting these bottoming tails right here. And yeah, I do think we're going to be getting that bounce. Okay, I do. Into the next coming trading sessions, I will actually point out Neo, guys. Neo, I do think is setting up for a move to the upside. All right, play the breakout. There you go. Speaking of breakouts, Carvana, top setup going into this week. What happened? All right. That happened. Okay, you could have literally won, but the open had a $4 move in your favor. I think this thing's just getting warmed up. Honestly, I hate to say that because maybe some people are gonna fumble into it, but I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I think this thing just broke out from this was your reversal pattern right here. I pointed this out in the last video. All right, we had a head. You have shoulder. You have shoulder. I understand it's not too, sexy looking, but guess what? Either way, you have a higher low, another higher low. All right. Keep in mind, you had a higher high after that higher low as well. All right. Higher low. And then boom. Now we have another higher high. So I would not be surprised at all to see this happen right here. And then I do think buyers would probably prevail if you got the retest right here. All right, but we just got to see what happens there. Either way, I still think this is one of the top setups on the market right now. All right, another setup that I was definitely paying attention to is DraftKings. You did get the break down. Now, again, I don't know if this is going to, all these hammers across the board are going to lead into a bear trap. I have absolutely no idea. Or I guess lead into a bull trap from a bear trap. I have no idea how that's going to play out, but I'm just going to say right now, this thing did end up breaking a 2-week consolidation, but you do have that same hammer that I am skeptical about across the board. So, don't expect too much, guys. I'm just putting it out there. Let's come back over here to QQQ. You clearly do have a breakdown here. You have the lower low. You can see it here on the daily time frame. You can see it on the 4 on the 1 hour. All right. You have the lower low here. You have started breaking down. We finally have sell side structure. Now, what are we waiting for now? Lower high. All right, you have a high, you have a low compared to over here, lower low. And then guess what? We need a lower, we need the lower high, and then we need to break that low, and that right there is your official daily trend change, and we likely are going straight all the way down over here. Maybe you're heading all the way back down there. I don't know about that one, but we will have to see. I do think you're going to have a pretty nasty shakeout before the next move up. And why do I say next move up? Because guess what, guys? You already took out the July high. This move was impulsive. this whole move, impulsive, this whole move, wave 1, this whole move, leg 1, 2, 3. You're gonna get an ABC move, you're gonna get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, or you're gonna get an ABCD move. Either way, all of these have one thing in common. This is the first leg of them. So you're gonna get that. Minimum, we're getting this right here. We're gonna get that move right there. And then are we gonna get a move like that? You have absolutely no idea. Maybe it's something like that. No idea. But I do, I'm firm on that belief, guys. This dip is going to be bought up. I'm just going to let you guys know right now. 90-day out calls, SPY 440. I think it's a big old move. All right. That is where you start the position. And then guess what? You get an opportunity all the way down here at 430 somehow. Boom. Take that, do with that info with what you will. I will also do with that what I will. There you go. All right, guys. IWM, I did point out the other day that I do think on this pullback, IWM is going to be, this is where the opportunity lies. This is going to be the lagger that is going to play catch up. Today, you are back testing your trend line. So that is something to take note of as well. You are literally just back testing where you broke down from. Now, I will say in a quite explosive manner, can it keep going? Yeah, it can keep going. You did have lower volume, though, on this big day. So that is something to take note of. DIA doesn't really look too bad. You had an inside bar. SPY, you do have this big, fat, nasty doji candlestick. But I'm just going to say the fact that you took out the low from this candlestick the other day is this was a big move to the upside. There was a percent move. That validated this whole move to the upside as a bull trap. The fact that you swept that low means anybody who bought that was in the red. That means it's a bull trap. Okay, doesn't mean we're not going to go a little higher. That's not at all what that means. It just means that validates that as a bull trap. Now, I will point out over here on the hourly time frame, all right, you had a false breakup twice now. That is something to take note of. But we do have this low here. We have a high, and so far we just have a higher high. So we're going to have to see, all right? SPY isn't looking nearly as bad as QQQ. But even though QQ did start breaking down, guys, I think we're going to go up and make a lower high. I think we're probably going to come right back up here. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the video. Probably, it's probably going to piss a lot of people off. But it is what it is, guys. You do with that info with what you will. You got hammers across the board. Boom, bop, bing, boom, pow. You saw that arrow? Yeah, I think it's going to happen. But I do think we're probably going to get that dead cat bounce. All right? It's going to go something like that. All right? That is literally the only thing I'm looking for from here. Okay? Other than, more downside. But I do think we get that pop before that downside. Now, I will also point out right here, you have a topping tail over here on Mr. VIX. You are still down here at support, though, and your RSI is still pretty oversold in, relative to VIX. All right, you don't always see the daily RSI get oversold. It's like extremely rare that it actually does get oversold. When it does, you pounce on those opportunities. Those are your long opportunities. That is why, back over here, there you go. All right, like guys, if you're at support, you got this daily RSI being oversold, this is where you want to be watching it. Understand sometimes it's a little tricky, but guess what? All right, it's still going to be your longer term buying opportunities. Even when the bear market, guys, even during this bear market, right over here. I understand there was all that, but you see the bright side. You see the bright side. Now we all know. Crash? Yeah, it can happen, but buy the crash. Crash? Yeah, buy the crash. Crash, buy the crash. Crash, buy the crash. Not a crash, but buy the crash. All right. Which I'm just gonna say, guys. VIX. You ever see it up above 65? Unless you're gonna crash, you're going to see this thing stall out. At this point, I want to say it's like 20 out of like 23 occurrences. We're gonna say 20 out of 22 occurrences. I'm pretty sure. It's around there. You've seen the VIX stall out right here at 65 on the RSI, and then you have a full-on market recovery every single time. So if you're going to bet against those odds, I don't think this channel is the right place for you. I show everyone, exactly what I'd be watching, exactly what I'm looking at, and, it's just all logic behind it. No emotions over here. Guys, when VIX is too high, VIX is too high. When VIX is low like this is not when you're sitting there trying to long the market. All right. I understand low VIX equals low volatility. All right. Yeah, people are bullish on the market, but that does not mean just sit there long in the market as things are looking how they are right now. I just don't think it makes sense. Was this just a pullback before you go up to a new high? Absolutely no idea. Are we about to skyrocket to $400? Absolutely no idea. We could go to all-time highs. All right. JPAL, FOMC, you coming right around the corner. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I don't know. No idea. All right, guys. But yeah, I just wanted to make this short little video here. Short 10-minute little video showing that, yeah, we did break down. We have sell-side structure, but you do have bottoming tails everywhere across the board, and they do have heavy volume to go with that on some of these tickers. So let me just show an example. Apple, you do have that bottoming tail. Amazon, you do have that bottoming tail. Meta, bottoming tail. Google, bottoming tail. Microsoft, bottoming tail. Now, keep in mind, they all have the common theme of they broke support. All right, so they did break down. But, again, when you see these bottoming tails, they typically aren't followed by a move down. You see them followed by a move up. So, again, logic will be found here on this channel. That is what I will be reporting to you each and every day. Oh, what do we have? Another bottoming tail. And keep in mind, guys, I have not moved this arrow. Since we're up here, I have not moved the arrow. Done exactly that. Congrats to anybody who played. Hope you had a fun time. But yeah, guys, we're right down over here, and I honestly do think you're going to get buyers over here on NVIDIA. So yeah, honestly, guys, it's going to piss off a lot of people. I think you get a bid. All right, guys, with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Neo is getting ready to go, and Bob, actually. Let's look at Baba. Guys, Baba's getting beat down into the ground. Keep it on watch, but yeah, it's getting beaten down into the ground. But it's on my watch list. Not on the Discord watch list. So I'm like my mental watch. But because it's just not getting the bid. All right, what is it doing? We need a hammer. We need we need confirmation on the hammer. There you go. That shows buyers are stepping in. We also want to see heavy volume stepping in on there. We also want to see it stop doing this. What the heck is this? Do you just see? Oh, bear flag. Let me break down. Bear flag. Let me break down. Oh, another bear flag. Let me break down. It just keeps gapping down out of these bear flags. So you got to see that stop. And you kind of did that structure today. So, we're going to have to see how that goes. But whenever this stops, the thing's going to reverse. We just have to sit there. I understand that sounds obvious. Oh, when it stops falling, it's going to reverse. Yeah, I'm just pointing out. It's probably at the end of that doing this. All right, what we just described. Oh, look at that. Bottoming tail and you complete gap down. Is that going to happen on QQ? Probably not. Because this is Baba. But it can. Oh, Rivian's also something that I do believe is heavily setting up. All right, keep it on watch. Actually, let's come over to Bitcoin. I've been talking about Bitcoin a little bit over here because we did end up breaking above this key resistance. And above that resistance, we had nothing until 47,000. Does anybody remember that from right over here? Anybody remember that? Well, guys, now we're right smack dead in the middle of this big old range, and I do think you have a solid chance of catching a bid to all the way back up to this resistance. Does it happen? I have absolutely no idea. Can it happen? Very much so. All right, either you're going to do that, or I think you're probably going to get something like this. It's one or the other. And with how things are going, I think you're probably going to keep getting buyers stepping in here. Now let's just look at what happened to our boy old coin. Does anybody else remember when we also pointed out above this resistance right here, you have nothing until 150? Anybody remember that from the other day as well? All right. That was, right over here. We talked about this was your next resistance. You're likely coming right into this up sloping trend line. Came right into it. Found sellers. Guess what? From there, we point out the next resistance. If you could get above 130, 150. All right. We are now at 150. Let's just put on extended hours and we could take a look at what happened this morning. All right. Oh, what is that high right there? 150.29. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not even going to say target, but I mean, it's a supply and demand. It's literally just supply and demand, support and resistance. It's easy as that. That's what you're going to find. And that's just what you're going to find here on this channel. Like I told you earlier, you're going to find logic here on this channel as we go. If that's something you are fond of, I'd love to have you. With that being said, boom. That was easy. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.